All right, and we're back. Let me just double check. Yes, we'll put you up a little higher here. So this area, you can see it's marked out here. A lot of water damage, so it would take some regrading, tree work. Of course, that's all cosmetic, but you can see, look at this view. So we're literally right on the river, the Connecticut River, originating in Canada, the Canadian border, fourth largest river in the region here, and it runs all the way to Long Island Sound, Connecticut, New York. And Northfield is the only town that the river intersects between east and north, or east and west Northfield. Please carry out your trash. So yeah, there's a lot of cosmetic damage over the years, but the road is actually in relatively decent condition. Put you up a little higher, and you can just make the bridge out as we get a little closer. But it's actually a beautiful approach down to the river on both sides. There you go. Built in 1903 by Francis R. Schell. It's hard to find information on this guy. He was born in Manhattan, New York, and he's described as a capitalist. His father was a diamond trader, and I believe he was born in 1854. Francis, I could be wrong. But look at this view. These stanchions. I'm fairly sure these were going to remain. But yeah, $1903, $32,000. Then in 1991, it was proposed to demolish the bridge at a cost of $300,000. In 1984, they could have repaired the bridge, made all the necessary repairs to bring it back to original condition for $1.2 million. But the federal government decided, no, that's going to be too much. Replacement was 2.5, so $2.5 million to replace it completely. And they decided not to do that. So they set aside $300,000 in 1991 to demolish it. But here it is, rusting away, because they found something else to do with that $300,000, as you can imagine. But it's a beautiful bridge, and to turn it into something that would benefit the town and the neighboring communities, because it would be part of the Greenway, the East Coast Greenway, which runs all the way down the East Coast, all the way down to Florida. You could literally make a bicycle trip and camp all the way down, and this bridge would be incorporated into that. And the DNR is I believe they are tasked with maintenance upon completion of this project. And they would tend the bridge, at least that was the way it was drawn up, after its completion. But we would also like to get the Friends of Schell Bridge more involved, if they care to, with the bridge. What you can see is, we zoom down, I mean, the structure is just amazing. And even though it's been neglected, it's held up relatively well, aside from the steel, which with regular maintenance would have fared quite a bit better. But we know how that went. I believe the town pleaded with the federal government for assistance in funding and maintenance up until the 1950s. And then they abandoned all hope of that ever happening. And so they dealt with it. Even as far as putting a sign on the bridge warning people that they were taking their safety at their own risk crossing because of the condition. Apparently it would really rattle and shake when a car crossed. But it was never taken care of. Pretty amazing though, this construction. You don't see it anymore, that's for sure. And they put these up, obviously, to keep wandering souls from crossing. But it just stops people in theory. For insurance purposes only, I assume. But I'm gonna try to get down there a little bit. It's really slippery here this morning. But what a beautiful morning. It's just amazing. Real pretty morning. Let's see if we can take a walk down there. Once I get down, I won't be able to get back up here. Whoa. Ugh. Look at that. I mean, it's really in fantastic shape. A couple of these are missing, this Belgian block or whatever it is. But, you know, none of it is beyond repair. And this is, you know, I don't know, 125 years later. It's still in amazing shape for being completely neglected all these years. But what a spot. What an amazing spot. And to just consider tearing it down seems absolutely crazy when it's here and available. You know, you got this is better than just a spot. It's here. It's ready to be finished. And if it weren't for a small group of citizens that banded together, which always seems to be the case, I'm gonna have to try and get back up here. This probably would still be here because none of those officially in charge used the funds to destroy the bridge. So it would probably just gradually fall literally in pieces as it's doing now into the river below. But these folks got together and they formed a small group and said, hey, let's try to preserve this. And so they met on a regular basis and came up with a plan to preserve this piece of history. That was back in 2004. So all these years later, here we are, and they've gotten us to the precipice of possibly completing this project. And what's holding it up? The state. Why are they holding it up? Well, you know, they have some surface excuses. It was originally bid out at, according to Mass Department of Transportation, it should be a $25 million job. And most of it was going to be federal money, I believe 80%, with the remainder coming from the state. And when it came time to put this project together, it was submitted for bids, to garner bids from competing construction companies. And it ended up being nearly twice as much as what they figured. So, I don't know. Probably wonder how this happens. But they got us to this point and then decided, you know what, we really can't do it. Cost prohibitive. So the project has not been scrapped. It's just not going to happen. Which is kind of an oxymoron, but again, it'll probably only happen if we get people involved on the grassroots level and make it happen, despite these setbacks, which really aren't setbacks. They're more or less groups of gatekeepers that decide to use that money for something else, and definitely not community. But you can see where this is rusting through, clear through. That's right through, as thin as paper in some spots. But it's just a beautiful, so graceful, beautiful bridge, beautiful span. And it's just waiting for creative minds to put this package together and finish it up. It's right there. I mean, we're right there. But as usual, as is always the case, those that want to get it done will hopefully get it done. With or without assistance from the state